Good evening. My name is Shalani Phillips, and this is our Week 5 Inner Course Reflection from EDU 372 Educational Psychology. Learning theories. There are inventors of educational psychology who developed their theories and gained success in learning today, such as Piaget, Vygotsky, Maslow, Freud, and Skinner. Throughout the whole book, their names are on there, and they have that different strategies of learning from birth to adulthood. Overall, it's from pre-K to 12th grade. There are things that they have evaluated from, demonstrated, and made it possible in this educational society today. Implications of social and environmental factors of learning. There are examples such as classroom, physical, and psychological environment, the role and measurement of classroom climate, and implications and considerations. Classroom climate is more important, just as well as implications and considerations. Classroom climate, you want your students to be in the class that they feel comfortable with the teacher and learning as well. You don't want them to feel lost of what they need to be learning as well. It's best to demonstrate on everything that you teach, and everything that is covered from. Implications and considerations, you have to make sure overall does every assessment topic that you have is more clarifying on details and more understandable to make sure that they all more precise in learning. Interactions of development and learning. The inventor, or should I say, the person that developed, I have learned in my previous, I say, week 2 presentation, I learned about Lev Vygotsky. He created an analysis to formulate the difference between learning and development of children. There are scenarios that he have done that I was more familiar to, that I know that I can do in classroom. But in ways that you talk to children, you're supposed to talk to children, or should I say students, I'm sorry about that, in a positive way. Or you can ask them when they start, like, how's your day? That student will be like, oh, it's great. Or you can say, how are you today? And everyone be saying, okay or fine as well. You don't want to say anything negative that can hurt them. Teaching strategies for accommodating diverse learners. We have millions of diverse learners in this world that are teaching schools. Back then, there used to be diverse children that's in all in one school, but now it's a broadening, expanding evaluation, as I said, or experimental result in things. But there are things that we have to be more focused on when teaching in the classroom, such as facing and closing achievement gaps, embracing diversity, education diverse students, and strategies for culturally and ethnically diverse learners. All children learn different, but they need to be treated the same. We have those that are having disabilities such as learning and speech development. You have ADHD, or more factors of those. There are teachers that's like therapists that are certified that can teach them what they need on grade level. They might not learn in the traditional classroom as well. But we have those that are in a traditional classroom that can be pulled out daily to make sure they can get on track as well as a normal child does. Relationship of measurement, assessment, and evaluation of teaching learning process. There are 3 categories consist of the teaching learning process, such as instructions, reliability, validity, and self-control. You got to have your instructions more understandable for teachers, for students to know. You got to be, for reliability, you have to be accountable of the things that they do and learn as well. For each one, you have to make sure that they are taught the same. Validity, you want to make sure that your instructions, and reliability is more precise and acceptable when entering. And self control, you have to have more patience and more positive actions as you perform. You have to make sure that you have a positive gesture or body language when teaching every child, and also other teachers as well, because other teachers can look at you in a way that if you do your actions negative in a negative way, they might look at you like, okay, you're not a good teacher, you might need to just go somewhere else at that, or you should not teach here. So you have to make sure you make a good gesture for not only just the students but as the faculty and everyone else that's worked there. Conclusion. Throughout the course, I have learned the steps of basic, intermediate, and advanced levels of educational psychology. There are topics I have heard from, such as reading about the theories of Lev Vygotsky and B.F. Skinner. Things I am familiar to are corporal punishment, Common Core praxis exams, and the disabilities found in the classroom. As an educator and a future teacher, it is important to learn these categories in continuation of making strategies of your own. These are building blocks in the cognitive mind and exploring details of what each detail means. Another thing that I have learned previously, as we just did, was week 5 is corporal punishment. There were years back when teachers had paddles for them to make sure that they are punished the way they have to. But there were ways that they had stopped it because there were teachers that took it overboard. There are options for those teachers and principals and superintendents as well to give them now if they don't want to have powers. They only can get sent home, or the parent can have meetings for them to explain on things they need to know. Common Core is now in effect, I'll say like 3 years, 3 or 4 years ago. It is important for the third graders to learn how to read, to make sure that their mind is engaged for fourth grade level. That they are actually reading on third grade level, but they have to be enhanced to be ready for fourth grade level in reading, and for math and science as well too. Practice exams. When finishing your online university or college, if you're commuting, you have to take those practices exam in order to get your teacher's license. It's very important because you don't want to just be employed as a teacher and don't have that. It sets a good example of you working hard throughout these years and you successfully pass, and you can make a great example from your family. The disabilities, they are so important. I have a daughter that has disabilities herself. She's 10, and I be more focused on her just as well as my other two on the things and awareness that I can be more paying attention of and working with her. Again, I enjoyed this 5 week course as well as the classmates and the instructor. I also looked at videos that are more interested in me. Also, I did an additional content from Anamoto, if I'm saying it right. I had did a little video of what has been going over. I could have did that on my PowerPoint, but I have did that instead. But I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for having me in this class, and have a blessed night.